Right, here we go. We are live for episode 4 of the Dirty Talk show with me, host Jeff Perrett. And I'm really pleased to announce that on episode 4, we are bringing in one of the hardest working men, not only in British motocross, but world motocross. Hot off the press as well, because obviously we all know what's going on, or we think we do. So we're going to get him on to find out what is actually happening in the world of GP motocross, MX of Nation and British Championship stuff. Mr. Steve Dixon. Here we go. Steve's got his lights sorted out. He's ready to rock. Let's bring him in. There he is. Look at that. Yeah. So, Steve Dixon, we've just had a little bit of a chat. Just always with you, you know, you've got this nickname Last Minute, Steve Last Minute Dixon, but you're last minute because you're always working right up to the 11th hour. So explain why you've just been a little bit late getting set up, because you've literally been on the phone all day, haven't you, regards of ongoing stuff, regards of the nations and all sorts.
Yeah, well, I'm actually in Ireland visiting my son, but
oh yeah, okay.
I'm still working, so yeah, no, all good. Yeah,
so
I snuck over here the other day. I drove over here, tested the quarantine stuff and everything, but no, all good.
Every day's a school day, so you're even testing what travel's like for when we try and get people over. So listen, it's always super busy for you all the bloody time. I called in on you when we come out of lockdown a little bit to drop some stuff off, obviously from a Kawasaki point of view, and as always, flat out at the workshop working on the van. Then you were doing, it's just, I mean, have you ever thought about stopping? And when you do go on holiday, do you get restless?
Yeah. I mean, if ever I go away, it takes me about 2 to 3 days sleeping first, because like I think I just go on adrenaline. Yeah, I mean, you know, I could stay awake for ages, but yeah, when it's not work, then then I sort of go into hibernation mode, I guess, for the first few days, and then it's okay after that. But yeah, I don't really relax that much. But everything I do is, you know, I enjoy. You know, there's not one part of the day that I don't enjoy, or one day that I don't enjoy.
Well, so I'm getting to know you a bit over the years. You know, first and foremost, when I first got to know you or met you, you know, you're sort of kind of quiet or keep, you know, reserved, but always looking around and all that kind of stuff. But as I sort of get to know you more, you know, you're one of the most positive people I've met. Like you're going to say, like, it's not like, oh, we can't do it. It's always like, how are we going to do it? And I guess that's why you've ended up doing what you're doing. I mean, all seriously, all joking aside, you're sat there now all these years on from taking on and doing the first GP at Matchams. Did you honestly have visions of it being like this, or did you just go like the football cliche, well, let's just do one at a time and see where we end up?
No, I mean, as I've said in loads of interviews, the whole you know, the British GP was a huge part of any teams that from England and, you know, Great Britain, and it's, you know, it's a major part of, you know, their season, and so it's very, very important to sponsors. And yeah, when we used to go to Fox Hill and everywhere like that, we used to take sort of, you know, literally hundreds of people, especially at Fox Hill. We used to have a big tent over the top, and I'd go up there. I would mow the lawn, and then buy loads of tickets from John Horler, and invite all the guests for Yamaha and everything. And it was only when the up and down of the GP started in sort of 2001, when it sort of got cancelled at the triple header. Then it was going to be here, and then it was going to be there, and that was the whole reason, to try and get some stability, because, you know, without a British GP, you know, I feared we were sort of going to lose sponsors. And if we remember back then, you know, there was a huge amount of British teams, you know, with RWJ, CAS, and all those sorts of teams. And the British GP was a massive buzz. So I would have been happy if you carried on at Isle of Wight.
No,
Again,
you wouldn't.
That was a 1 year wonder, from Rob Bradley. And
Yeah.
again, we had to, that was really the sort of the final straw, really, because I thought, it looked like we found a home for it, and the track was awesome, and Johnny had done a good job, you lot done a good job. Again, we took a lot of sponsors over to Isle of Wight. It was fantastic. It was like going abroad. It's only 15 minutes down the road from our workshop, straight across to Isle of Wight, but it still felt like going abroad. But
well, they get more hours of sunshine apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic. And then, as I say, then he stopped it all. Rob Bradley stopped it all and stopped the team. And then it was turmoil again. And fortunately, the following year, I run Matchams and Mark Chamberlain run Isle of Wight. And then there was issues with, Dorset Council with the Matchams and everything. There was a lot of opposition. So, then that started. Then that started really the sort of Matterley and everything like that. Well, I mean, we have to remember it was going to be at Farley Castle, but once we saw the crowd at Erney, it was like, and all the trucks, it was like, oh my God, we're just going to kill. We're just going to kill Farley, and that. I didn't want that on my hands either to sort of ruin a historic track. With people come, because when I used to go and watch it, Farley, I mean, it was great laugh. We used to sort of camp out, watch GP, but it's not like that. It wasn't like that, in 2006.
No.
It was, people are sort of, once the race is gone, then they want to sort of, they're used to that tranquility, and then they oppose it all. And that's the same at sort of Matchams as well, isn't it? It's difficult.
Yeah. With Matchams, when you obviously such a steep learning curve, you've been in the sport so long as a rider yourself, then a race team manager, mechanic, then a race team manager. Obviously, the buzz of then doing the first one, and it was a steep learning curve. At any point in that process and over the weekend, can you recall thinking, bloody hell, like what have I done? Did that enter your mind at any point for that first one?
No, I mean, Matchams was just a sheer lack of sleep, because I felt as if I met myself coming back, because I went to Japan and where Billy won, and because I did the GP, I had to go out there late, so I had to go via China, and then I came back on the Sunday night. So I think I went to Japan on the Friday and came back on the Sunday, and it felt like I had met myself coming back. I mean, that was just like torture. And then then we had all the rain, but actually Matchams was a good buzz. That didn't seem that difficult, because it's sort of self-contained, and no one knew really what to expect, so you weren't sort of dealing so much with public, as regards the camping side. It was a lot smaller, but I think and it was compact. So it was a nice GP, especially with
you say it was a lot smaller, but come on, either way, like if I recall, there was still a massive refit, obviously, for the circuit. I can remember going over there and testing the track for Moto Magazine, and spending a few days over there with Johnny, obviously, because it's just up the road from me. So it was a massive, you had to do all the drape.
It was a big job. I mean, but as you know, you put Johnny on a track, and he'll take care of everything. I mean, he looks at it from the photographer's angle, from the rider's angle, and he's one of a few track builders that look at the landscape, look how it will look from an aesthetic point of view in the photos and everything like that. So you can sort of with him, with Justin Barkley, and you can sort of leave them to get on with stuff and take care of it. They sort out any of those sort of problems. And I mean, luckily Kevin Hoare, who was sort of partnering it then with me, he had access to sort of like machinery and those sort of things. And then there was another guy, Mike, but I don't think Mike sort of quite told the council everything that was sort of going on. That's my belief. So yeah.
all the stuff you learn along the way. So Matcham's came to its natural conclusion because of the issue with the council and all that.
Yeah.
At that point,
I mean,
remind me, at that point, had you already agreed with then Youthstream or whatever they're called to do the following year? Or
I took a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Out, so I was sort of committed anyway. I thought Matchams was a good fit, and yeah, I say it's unfortunate that it was also having a lot of sort of planning issues and stuff like that. A lot of houses were going around, and they still hold stock cars there, and I think there could be possibilities to ride there, but it's difficult. They're making it difficult. I think also the owners don't want to sort of jeopardize what they've got going on there either.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
A few times.
Yeah. So you got to Matterley. So how did Matterley come about? I mean,
Matterley came about. Basically, we're sort of done an agreement with Farley.
Yeah.
We had all the plans. We drew everything up. We had Martin from Bike It was sort of, my partner in Bike It Promotions when we ran it. It was going to be at Farley. We went to an A with the his Porsche all signed up. We had girls there. We had leaflets. We handed everything out, saying the date of Farley, and then as I say, when we got to Farley and then come back to UK and then went back down to Farley, I just thought, this is going to be a disaster. Like we're never ever going to fit everything in here. I know in the past we've had big crowds, but it's the sheer amount of vehicles and the weight of vehicles and trying to with the sort of the
size as well. The size now, obviously
you didn't have the fields that used to be allowed for camping. Back in the sort of 90s when we used to go and watch. Those fields weren't available anymore. So suddenly it was like, okay, if the river rises and it's damp there, and we've got all these Arctics trying to get in, it's going to be very difficult. And that's so we had to make a decision between sort of us and like Steve Douglas and that from Farley, that it would actually be detrimental to Farley to go there. And then Fox Hill, the reason that we lost the GPs at Fox Hill really was because when that paddock gets wet, it turns to soup. And when you're investing this much money into an event, the main thing is to try and not have it cancelled, which is why go forward onto Matterley, it's built the way it is. Everything is on angles. There's drainage in it, the chalk, which the whole thing drains even better than sand. So the main priority of the track is not to get it cancelled. So that's that's where that started really. And Matterley, it was just a field. I actually went.
Yeah, you hold on. You say just a field. So you're there, you make the inquiries, however that came about, and you go and do your first viewing of the estate. So when you walked, was that the only field available? Did they drive you straight to that field? And then I
went there. I saw the bowl where they have the, the festival in Matterley Bowl.
Yeah,
which is where they address the troops and all that. So that looked perfect. But then I went and knocked, and at this point I didn't know Pebble. I went and knocked on, the farmer and said, what about motocross here in the bowl? And he's like, well, it's a bit out in the open with the ANOB, which is the national park. It's now a national park there. It was an area of outstanding natural beauty. So he said, right, well, we've got some different valleys, how about this one? So he took me around. I said, yeah, well, there was just 2 trees in it, and that was it. and it was just completely bare and had like you know, water trough in it. He said, look, you know, how about that? So I said, yeah, looks okay. Then I got Johnny along, and then
Oh, he's back. Steve
yeah,
is
so then
yeah. Go on.
I'm on my mobile, that's why.
Yeah, you're on your mobile, but you know,
Yeah.
this is it. This is what it's all about. Yeah.
Yes. So then, yeah, then I just carried on. I got Johnny, and we went up and had a look, and yeah, from there we just planned out the track, and yeah, that was it. That's
When
how it
you
started.
when you first stood in that field, did you get any kind of feeling that it's just like, oh, hold on, this could be amazing. We struck gold here. Did you just stand in that field and just like have one of those Wayne's World moments where you're like, oh, if I build it, there come type thing?
No, but that's what they put in Trials of Motocross. So I'll go with that. I just thought,
Yeah.
I thought, this is
And
pretty
here we
cool,
are.
you know?
I mean, here we are. You see, so to me, because it's up the road and obviously right on your doorstep as well, and time goes so bloody quick, it really does still feel to me that it was only the other day that we were
Yeah.
first there.
It feels it doesn't feel like 2006, that's for sure. I mean, it really does go quick. I mean, yeah, racing full stop goes quick. Every year it's like, you know, you don't know where, like I say, I've been doing this 31 years now, and it still feels like it was only the other day I left the railway and sort of gave up a secure job for a 1-year contract at Yamaha. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, but what a trip. So getting on then, let's talk Matterley. Obviously, the beginning of the year was so like, oh God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Then there was the weather and everything as well. But I mean, you know, yet again, you delivered on a quality GP at a time where people was like, well, this isn't going to work. And then we start the season there, and it's a good job we did. Otherwise, we'd been waiting for ages
Yeah, I
for
mean,
any action.
you know, like I say, I'm positive. I'm not stupid. I'm positive. You know, only because, you know, you just don't give up until it's finally impossible. And yeah, then when it's impossible, you still have another sort of try, and then, you know, that's just the way I am. And you know, you need a certain amount of people like that to be sort of, let's say, brave and not give up. I wouldn't say everyone needs to be like that because it would be chaotic. But no, I mean, you know, I've sort of managed to sort of keep going the longest in the UK as a racing team, and pretty much in the whole world GP scene.
Yeah.
And that's the same. It's not an attitude. It's just my passion for it. And that's why I keep going. You know, we have, you know, there's good people around, and you sort of feed off the good people, and, you know, they feed off you, and you keep achieving, you know, what you can achieve within. It may not be the best sometimes, but you know, it may not be the worst. You've just got to try and keep some sort of level, you know, level head, so that everything happens each year. You know,
Have you had anybody? Has anybody in the whole process close to you pulled you up to one side and said, you know, what are you doing? Don't you think it's time? Are you sure this? Are you sure you should be doing this? Is this the right thing to do? Has anybody tried to talk you out of it?
Yeah, quite a few have said, like, you're going to kill yourself. You know, basically, if you keep working as hard as you do and putting the pressure on yourself. You know, yeah, some close friends and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, to me, it's not pressure. I mean, every GP or every now and again, you know, you think, oh my God, what have I done? Well, a bit worse words than that, but yeah, I mean, and then later on it goes. I mean, it's, yeah, you know, you just deal with those things, and I don't know, it's just inbuilt into me, that resilient for that type of pressure. And, you know, it's not that I thrive on it, it's just that it doesn't sort of affect me. You know, I'm more of an optimist than they're not
Well,
really.
I've obviously got to know you over the years, so I definitely agree with that. And also, in your replies on social media, because obviously you're out there doing it, and you get a lot of people really supportive of what you're doing, but you always get some keyboard warriors, that will be on your case and moaning straight away. Sometimes that must be difficult to see those comments and sort of bite your lip and go, oh God, if only you knew the half of it. It must. I know you've got to take criticism on board, but
Yeah, actually, the keyboard, people, I sort of, it's not that I don't care about them, but everyone's entitled to opinion, and I don't worry about their opinion if it's not of a value. I'll take on, I'll look at what people say, and I'll take on board if something sort of triggers something in my brain that says, actually, he's got a point there and stuff like that. I'm not ignorant to to sort of help or anything like that, and it's just basically them. Yeah, I sort of, I always answer it like, well, come along, give a hand, and actually see what it costs, see the rubbish afterwards,
oh
see
God,
the work done beforehand, see. I mean, yeah. For example, yeah, you've done a GP at Isle of Wight, and you came to test, with Kawasaki,
yeah,
just after this, the GP in March, and you saw all the rubbish people,
oh, unreal,
living in tents, picking up the rubbish, etc., etc. So, I mean, that's,
yeah,
it is what it is. I've got nothing to hide. It's damned hard to make it work, and I don't, and I say this in every interview. I actually don't know why I do it, because I have my team. I get enough enjoyment out of my team. I enjoy all the travel and all the GPs year after year, and all the build up.
yeah.
And I could not tell you, even if you got a doctor to look at me, I could not tell you why I do it. I honestly don't know why I do it. I just have resigned to the fact that I've been put here to do the GP and stuff, and to try to keep British, the British Grand Prix alive. And that's basically it.
I've got a question for you on that. How do you then do time management? Is it a case that you might be in the workshop, let's say on the lathe, or doing what you're doing, because you still do that for the bikes and tune the bikes and do development?
Yeah.
Are you then on doing something in the workshop, and then your brain is then you're thinking about something to do for the GP, or do you switch off and then concentrate on the team and then dedicate time to the other?
Traveling and that sort of stuff, I dedicate sort of, on the GP. We have a good team behind us that carries on with, that sort of now take care of all the, the paperwork side of things. So, that enables me to sort of carry on and do the day-to-day things of the GP. Brad does all the drawings and everything ready for the council. I do the council meetings, and you have my sister and medical, and Kath doing the paperwork and everything like that. So it's all sort of taken care of. And then I try to piece everything together and keep everyone sane, or make them crazy.
I laugh because people say to me, God, your phone is always on the go.
Yeah.
My phone, people say, you ever off that phone, you always doing something, people calling you, messaging or whatever. So your phone must be, well, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as bad nowadays as it used to be, but I think people just got used to me. Now, there's more emails and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the GP runs really well. It doesn't take a lot of resource from me as such. It comes fairly easy now. But then, we've done it a lot of times. But every time you're faced with something on the day. You know, like the skybox this year. You know, it could be mud, it could be everything. And you know, my trouble is I can never say no. You know, we held 2 lots of 4-day festivals and 700 riders, and you know, oh, America's dropped out. Can you run the nations? Oh yeah, I'll do that. And you know,
so that's do you know what, that's the perfect opportunity to, so let's get on to this surprising news. Obviously we all know what's going on in the world, we don't have to go over that.
Yeah.
So then the news came out of the blue. Obviously France, you know, it couldn't be done, and then like you said, you've just sort of stepped in. So how did, I know we've obviously seen interviews and stuff like that already, but in your own words a little bit there, you know, how did that come around?
I mean, literally it was, again, you know, France had to pull out because of timing reasons, and you know, they had to commit. And yeah, I mean, so in front, Daniele rang me and said, you know, what do you think the chances are at Matterley? I said, yeah, I don't know. I said, but yeah, I'm up for running it. You know, the next day it got, you know, I spoke to Pebble. I said, look, but literally tomorrow it gets announced. And this was sort of 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I said, you know, they've got to announce France is being off, and they've got to announce something for the MXON. I said, just to let you know, yeah, we'll have to discuss details later. And I said, look, if we can run it, you know, if we can get the permissions from South Downs National Park, you know, Winchester Council, Peveril, the police, etc., we're up for it. You know, we can leave it as long as possible, but we're up for it. So yeah, that's where I am, just currently trying to get all the permissions. Running the event would be easy. You know, we've done all the risk assessments and spoken to all the suppliers and everything, watching all the sort of government sort of guidelines and stuff. But you know, it is tricky, and what I'm finding is no one wants to, apart from me, be responsible for COVID coming to a town, basically. And you know, they don't want.
Live in a minute. We're live again. We're back.
Cool.
Apologies, everybody, because I have no idea what happened there. That's the first time that's happened. Hopefully, we're going to get people tuning back in, but it doesn't matter because they can come back and watch it at any other time anyway, because it's all there saved. So we don't need viewers just now. Steve, they'll start tuning in, hopefully. Okay. So, well, you know, like I said, if they don't, it will be there anyway to watch later. So where did we get up to before that technical hitch? Oh, the important news that the Motocross of Nations is coming, made, hopefully, fingers crossed, back to the UK. So where are we at with that then? You just said you've had a load of phone calls today.
Yeah, so where we're at is, like I say, myself and the team, you know, all up for it. Suppliers are all up for it. We're just waiting on, you know, trying to get all the, you know, the permissions of South Downs National Park, Peveril. Yeah, and then we have to hand in the event management control, you know, which gets them sent to Winchester, and the police and all that agree. But yeah, that side of it's okay. It's just trying to, you know, convince South Downs National Park and also Peveril about, you know, that it'll be safe, and you know, no one wants to take the risk of, you know, bringing COVID to Winchester or stuff like that. That's what we're battling against at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's going to be a very, very different event than what it would be otherwise. So, you know, you have to play it day by day of what you can do, or are you just going for a set plan, as in spectators? How are you going to do that? Or are you just sort of, like I said, going to wait until hear what you can do?
No,
because
I mean,
there's no way you can have 60,000 people. You're not. That's not going to happen in the
no,
grand scheme of things. It's just not.
no. I mean, I don't think it would be in those numbers anyway, because because obviously there's a certain percentage, won't want to travel, certain percentage won't come because of the Americans, and
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, we've all been sort of started motocross here since March, and it'd be good to sort of have another big meeting there. So I mean, we're all excited for it, and it was it took me about half a second to say yes when they said, would I be interested in hosting it, and and that was the same last year when they said, could I run it in March? I'm like, yeah, no worries. I mean, weather in the UK, you never know when it's going to be good or bad. So if I just got to accept, when the race is, and deal with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the moment we're, going forward in, all the planning, all the COVID stuff, all the risk assessments, how we could run it, how, just, simple plans like, using different fields for car parking. Then, then on the ticket allocations, let's just say, okay, tickets 1 to 1,000 go in at 7:30 in car park A. Car park B have tickets, 1,000 to 2,000, and enter at 7:45, and all sorts of stuff like that can break up the flow of of entry into the arena. I mean, all of this planning goes without the knowledge of whether we can actually run the event yet. So that's why it's TBC. We're doing all the background work as much as we can within the time limits and the parameters that we've been given. So
what are they? I know you possibly can't say at this point exactly if there is a cutoff date or anything, but a rough timeline in your mind is when do you think to get the green light? If you do get it, because obviously they can't give you a green light 2 days before, so there has to be a rough cutoff point, even though if they haven't told you exactly.
Technically, to actually get stuff done and intimately, I'd say 10 days beforehand, but all the teams need to know, the federations need to know. So soon we will have to come to a decision of it's not fair on teams and fans to wait any longer. I mean, it was dead and buried at France, so now it's we're just trying to keep it resurrected, and come up with ideas, and try not to lose the event in 2020.
Yeah,
so that's the aim. And I mean, that's the aim with with all sorts of race series going on in the UK and around Europe, and everyone's just trying to scrape together something to keep the industry going.
Yeah, totally. From a British point of view, you've obviously been the team manager as well. Another feather in your cap of many things that you've done. I know you've got to focus and run the event, but you also, I should imagine want the Brits to do well. So clearly, with the Americans, I mean, obviously they haven't done so well recently anyway, but previously we've done pretty good there. So from a British point of view, it could be, although they might not have all the crowds there and whatever, the home advantage might be good. We might be able to go a few more places up the podium.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me calling on it, I would obviously call Max back. He's a double winner. He owned that place in 2017. Even, it would be massive for his Hep Suzuki team to come across and race it. I think that could be done. And then again, it's down to Mark Chamberlain to choose between, Dean Wilson if he wants to come over, Tommy, Sean, Sterry, Ben, Conrad, those guys, and as soon as there's been no racing, it would just be a case of getting them all together and, putting them to the clock and putting them to the fitness test, really, because there wouldn't be many races before that either. So experience would come to play. But I mean, the same situation, came about last year. There was rider got injured after injury, and ended up with the Watson brothers. And yeah, you got on the podium third. It was a little bit lucky, but you need, sometimes you have bad luck, and sometimes you need luck to get into those positions. And those conditions played into Nathan's hands, and we had a good result. But
well, like you said, you're doing all you can to at least lay the event on. Andrew McKinstry, from Gate Drop has just popped up, and I don't know if you can see the screen, Steve. I think you can. But anyway, I'll read the question out for everybody as well. So Andy from Gate Drop has said, if the MX event can't be run, and hopefully it can, is it possible a normal GP could be run on the date instead, as opposed to having nothing at all?
What GP?
So basically, if the MX of Nations can't run, has there been discussions of maybe using that date to just have a regular another GP and call it the GP of whatever, England or
I don't know. I mean, they'd already sort of sidelined it with the GP of Winchester and the MX of Nations, so they were going to have I don't know how they were going to do it, incorporate sort of points into the nations, so it was called the GP of Winchester as well.
Okay.
So, I mean,
that's cool.
I mean, again, in Front's doing all they can to save the calendar. There's a lot of people, I've had sort of people ring me up saying they've lost their job in Italy, and is there any mechanic jobs because their teams sort of folded and stuff like that. So it's a motorcycling sport and car racing sport is a huge industry, and as well as shops and everything, we all need to keep the wheels turning, and and that's important for everyone's livelihood.
Totally. I mean, it is our industry, isn't it? Exactly, no different than anything else. So at this stage, I mean, that's some real good info there. It's because everybody got so excited when the news come out, but as you've just said, you're working towards it. That's now what you're trying to do, yourself and in Front and whatever. But that's not to say at this point that it's definitely going to happen. There's still so many things.
I did make sure that that In Front put TBC on it, and as you saw on the calendar, it says that. Purely because I was not jumping the gun, because there was it was either saying no at that time so that it could be announced no MXON, or try and give it as much chance as we could. And that's where we're at. We're and the the amount of emails that we've had, sort of volunteers and stuff like that, has been amazing. All that. I mean, Jason Foyle, who does all the starts, start gates, he's already wrote out all the risk assessments for doing the start gates and stuff like that. So I mean, everyone's mad into it, and for marshals and all sorts. So
you get right on cue, Steve. Right on cue. You're gaining some fans here with what you're doing, laying on the British GP year after year. John Deeprose has just come up and said, if you have a GP next year, and I'm sure you will, I would like to give you a hand for a week to help. See, so there you are, right on cue. Just as you're saying it, proving that people are right behind what you're trying to do at Matterley.
It's been massive, and it's good fun, doing this sort of stuff, and it's good when people see the background of it and get involved. Be better if it was afterwards when they're picking up the rubbish. Even just picking out the pegs. There's 800 pegs to pick out of the track, and wash them. It takes me a week to wash all the pegs. I just basically put them all in a big tub and then let them soak. Well, actually, we've got a girl working.
Bloody hell!
She comes once. There's a girl from Portsmouth Club. She comes once a week now, work experience. She wants to be a mechanic, and so she spent 3 days cleaning them, but I spent sort of 5 days cleaning them. all the marshal flags, everything has to be washed. There's a huge amount afterwards, as before.
well, she's learning a lot about it. I mean, it's like being an apprentice footballer and having the clean football boots, I suppose. You got to start at the bottom and work your way up. So that's the MX of Nation potentially this year covered. We're obviously going back to racing proper soon, you know, with EMX for you and or you know, or MX2. Where are you at with that? Because obviously you've got an injured rider, or you've had an injured rider.
So in Valkenswaard, so on one hand we're leading the Women's World Championship with Courtney. We had 2 races and she won one and finished 4th. So she's leading that. And their next one is supposedly Turkey. But then Wilson, someone went off course on the start at Valkenswaard, took him down, went into him, broke his finger, smashed it all to pieces. That got fixed up in Holland. And then a week later we had to get it done again because it turned out, you know, the job wasn't done correctly. But no disrespect to the hospital in Holland, you know, they had to deal with the trauma, and you know, his hand was completely smashed. So seeing the hand a week later and then finding out that one part wasn't pinned correctly, you know, I don't lay any blame with the hospital who initially did the trauma. So we had that fixed up, and then also at the same time that his leg got all swelled up, and he, you know, they took an X-ray there and couldn't see anything. But anyway, it turned out that he'd done his ACL, so he went to get the operation here. They couldn't do operation because of COVID. Hospitals were sort of starting to refuse, you know, doing any operations. So then we had to get him back to Australia. Then he had to quarantine for 2 weeks, and then they weren't doing operations for another sort of month because of COVID. So he will be back next month and start rehabilitating, you know, on a bike. He's doing great at the moment with, you know, all sorts of exercises, mountain biking and swimming and, you know, general playing around. And that's all gone well. So we won't be at Latvia. The first one will be probably again Turkey.
Right.
So we're looking forward to that and getting back racing. And I mean, again, it's
that's right. Gives you a bit more time to potentially do the Motocross of Nations.
Well, I mean,
I know you'd rather be racing. That was a joke. I know you'd definitely rather be out there racing. So,
but I mean, this whole you know, period, obviously, you know, a lot of sponsors have had to sort of, you know, delay their payments, not been able to pay until, you know, we start racing again, or till they find out how their business is doing. So, you know, for the first 2 weeks, it was a case of, right, okay, let's do bits to the truck that we wanted to do, you know, take advantage of, you know, the weather and do all that sort of stuff. And then it was a case of, right, okay, things are not getting good. So, we've been doing a lot of, you know, private work and suspension and engines, and that's been quite enjoyable. You know, it's back to my roots, and, you know, sort of speaking with people, that's been good, you know, like just normal customers and, you know, everything that sort of goes on at that sort of lower level. And then also I got a track together at Ramsden together with I
saw that. I was speaking to Justin about that as well. So that's right on your doorstep as well for a bit of training for the lads right there.
That's right. So last year Tom T and Craig Dappin, who are both from Portsmouth Club, they came to me and said, look, you know, the lease is up, you know, we don't want to carry on with it like without someone else. So I said, look, I'll come in and, you know, we'll run it together. We got Justin up there, and then you know, we've run some private hire days, and the main thing is really to have a place to go to and train. And Justin's done a good job of it. It looks, you know, totally revamped. And just
keep I saw the video, keep Jordan away from there, keep him in the workshop. He's not very good on a motocross circuit, even on his feet, let alone on a bike.
No. He's actually had a few goes up there, and he rode the 450. He loved that. So but for the water jump, he's no good. No.
No, he come up way short. Andrew,
for trying it.
I can't believe he went for it. Andy from Click 466 has just come up here.
they're local.
Asking a question about the riders, he goes, we see standing riders step in once in a while, but I guess for the short term and the way the season is, there's no real benefit. Is there any benefit in putting somebody else on the bike until Wilson returns?
No, because the budget's sort of there, and we we continue to pay the riders while they're injured and out convalescing, whether it was Darien and stuff like that. So to do that and get another rider in, and to get another rider in, you have to spend a lot to get them up to sort of speed. It's not like there's any top riders hanging around, and other than that, it's sort of it's sort of not worthless. I mean, we've done our bit in the past to help sort of young riders. I took Billy from 14 to winning his first GP, Carl Nunn from 16 to winning his first GP, and Martin Barr and all of that sort of stuff. And we would love to get another British riders. We like working with British riders. Yeah. And we've always got our eye open.
But certainly the younger riders, that takes in this day and age even more investment, doesn't it? And it's a long-term project.
Yeah, it's difficult because when you're at 20 Grand Prix, you can't be at home and do a good job on a British Championship rider.
No.
The likes of yourself and Rob Hooper and those sort of guys that are bringing up riders. I tried to help this year by getting Taylor Hamill into the British GP because he's local, and he had his sort of taste of doing a GP, which was good for him, good for his sponsors, and I'll do what I can to help people. Yeah.
Talking of the British Championship, I mean that's an issue. I mean, back in the day, obviously when you started running a race team, we didn't have so many GPs, and it was still a long season, but it was a bit. Now 20 GPs. Do you ever still sit at home or back in the workshop thinking, I wish we could race the British Championship? But obviously it's so difficult to do both.
Yeah, we'll race. We enjoyed racing the British Championship with Max in 2015, and with Tommy in 2016 when he won it. I mean, I think if you have a British rider, he wants to do the British Championship. That's great. But if you have let's say a foreign rider that doesn't want to do the British Championship, that's it's difficult with a motocross rider. They don't perform if they don't want to perform. So then you're just risking injury and trying to make them do something they don't want to do, and they're forever thinking, the guys abroad are not racing, and I've got to come back and I've got to race. But for the British rider, he enjoys it, and like with Max, we said, like, the week it's the British Championship, don't practice, just use this as as practice. And that's why we used to sort of turn up on a Sunday morning, do the race, and come home. It was okay. This is just a practice day. That's no disrespect to British.
No, not at all. I get that.
It's just that, right, if we're going to do it, we just need to minimize the sort of amount of time that we're there, and just go there, enjoy it, and come away. And and it's great speaking to all the fans, speaking to all the the people that come up to you, and that's enjoyable. And but we still then got to go on a Monday off to a GP or something. So it's so it's difficult.
I think those fans would be happy just to have you guys there. I don't think they're overly worried about the big draw or anything anymore and stuff like that. Just to have one of your riders there. Apologies, by the way, people watching, but I'm getting a few technical issues tonight, as we've already had to see. We've had to do a second version of this, and I'm getting all kinds of issues with the speaker, which I've never had before, microphone. But sorry about that, people. Hopefully, for episode 5, we'll be back on track. Typical, the one person I want to get on and talk loads about and whatever, and then we get technical issues. But there we go. So basically, it's just still flat out as ever, really. Then we're going to wait and see what happens to the nations. I got no doubt at all that things are already progressing in regards of 2021, regards of organising a GP, where you're at with the team. I know you can't tell us stuff because that's how the industry works, but I'm sure you're already in conversations regards of both the GP and team lineups and stuff. So I should be
Yeah,
interested to see. Got a new KX 250 on coming out to work with as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've been fortunate enough. Well, we only had 2 races, but we were fortunate enough to be able to use the the 450 chassis, which was fantastic. And yeah, that's obviously production in the 250 in 21. So really looking forward to that bike. I think it's going to be I know it's going to be a good seller. I've already had so many people, ring me up about it. Have I seen it? And blah, blah, blah. So I think they have 2 good models. I mean, there's not a bad bike out there from any manufacturer nowadays. So it just comes down to the rider now. I mean, and the team that's supporting them. I think it's a good, for us, it's good to have a high level base now to start work with. And, we're looking forward to when the bikes arrive.
You'll be, I just know what you like. You'll be at that workshop to God knows what time, machining, tinkering. Can't help yourself, can you? But long may it continue. I'll tell you what, I'm going to sign off there because even I'm getting pissed off with the microphone and I've already taken up an hour or more of your busy time. I'm going to sign off. We're going to sign off with this lovely comment from Chris Lee, who's just tuned in. So here you go, Steve. I know you're a modest man, so I'm going to do it for you. He has just come in with this quote. Let's face it, Steve Dixon is a true MX hero. Whatever you can get sorted, Steve, those of us who have at least seen some understanding of how it works and will always support you. Keep it up, mate. There you go. So you're doing the right thing, Steve. And yeah, God knows where we'd be in British motocross regards to the last 10 years without a British GP and all these other things. So fair play to you. Long may it continue, and long may those cogs in your head keep well oiled. They'll go all the way till I'm in the box. See, that was a perfect opportunity to mention Silkline as your major new oil sponsor, but I'll do it for you. Steve, I'll let you spend some time with your family and your son. Say hi to Bradley for me, and I no doubt I'll see you soon. And all the best. And I hope it goes off for the Motocross of Nations. Even if I was allowed to come along, I can't because my best mate has decided to go and get married on that date. So I'll be doing my best man speech. Roger
Warren came back,
Well, hold on. Let me. No, see, the trouble is he's getting married in Greece. So, and apparently
he came back from Barbados or somewhere. But then he's a true hardcore commentator.
Exactly. I'm just a part-timer. I'm just, learning the trade. I'm a youngster just stepping in. So unfortunately, I won't be at that one. But listen, I'll let you crack on. You'll probably get off of this and start taking phone calls and doing all that, knowing you. But I'll let you go, and I'll see you, Steve, soon. So thanks for your time, Steve, and I'll catch up with you later. Bye. See ya. Bye. Right, so there goes Steve. He's off. Right, everybody. Roger's the man. Yes, Andrew. Yes, Andy. Rog is the man. He's going to have to be if that event goes off because I won't be there to give him a hand, unfortunately. I mean, why would my best mate go and do that? Should have given them the calendar. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching and sticking with us through a few technical issues. I mean, the first 3 episodes we haven't had any issues like that, so I don't know what was going on tonight. But thanks for sticking around and watching the second part of the thing as well. Some interesting stuff in there from Steve, which no doubt we'll pull out and quote. And that's it. So hopefully, fingers crossed that the Motocross Nations will happen. It's not a dead cert yet, but hopefully it will happen at Matterley on the 27th of September. And maybe a lot of you guys will be able to go. Right, that's it. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time at 8 o'clock with another new guest. Don't know who that will be yet, but keep tuning in and logging into Dirt Hub to find out who that guest is going to be. And that's it. So let's just one more comment coming in. Let's just see who that is. Get your mate, Paul Lavender. Get your mate to dump his missus. Well, you would have thought, right? I should just put motocross first. But he has been my best mate for 30. Hold on, let's get this right. 34 years. Unfortunately, he's not going to dump his mate because he's buying into a bit of money, Paul. You know what I'm saying? Right, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. We'll announce the guest who it will be. Join me 2 weeks' time on here, and we'll get maybe 1 or 2 guests on next time. Right, everybody, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Do your thing. Cover your face if you've got to go out and all that stuff. And we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. I'm out of here. I'm going to end it now.